Hey Lorenzo, Jessica here. Thank you so much for speaking with me today and accepting this free video. I am super excited you did because today I'm going to walk you through a few things, a couple strategies, things that are going to help you online and that you could easily apply yourself. Right now, you guys have 0 keywords that have been indexed and you're not getting any real organic traffic to your website. Meaning people are not able to search keywords to find you very easily. If they're coming to your website, they're manually typing in your business name. And unfortunately, 90% of people who search don't search by business name because they don't know who you are yet. So they're going to be searching for the services that they need. So we're not capturing about 90% of the people searching in your service area. And that also means you're missing out on over 60 to 80% of the available jobs. Okay. So these tips I'm going to show you, I know they work because we've applied them with over 50 other restoration companies throughout the US, and it's made a huge impact. Okay. So here we are on your website, and you do have a fantastic looking website. Your marketing company did a wonderful job. I like that you have your click to call up here, your location. That is great. Once we do start getting traffic to your website, we do want them to convert. And we have found by putting a form right up here in your hero section, can increase those conversions by up to 80%. So making sure that every single page has click to call numbers throughout the page and a form on top is going to help with those conversions. Now, when it does come to ranking on Google, Google doesn't rank based on appearance. It is based on content, and content is key. So we do need to have a lot of content. We do have to have separate pages for all of our major services, which it looks like you do have at least 3 of your main services, which is good. These could be broken out a lot further. Right now, this positions you as a generalist that does everything rather than if there's one service you want to hyper focus on, like water or fire. Once you become a specialist instead of a generalist, that really does help boost your rankings and lead volume. But either way, you do have at least have the minimum requirements, and Google does want this. Want those separate pages because it allows you to devote an entire page on one topic and talk about all the various different aspects of the topic, your processes, and remediating this topic, answering the most common questions, talking about the equipment and the process, and all of those things that your customers want to know. So that is really important. Back in March of last year, Google launched a new ranking factor. Is their EEAT, and that is your experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. And so being able to display that throughout your website is important. Now, also with your content is everything. It's videos, it's images, and written content. So we want to make sure everything is optimized with your local keywords. So if we look at this one image, it's your brand and then truck. So that's not an optimized image. We want to optimize with the local keywords, the keywords people are actively searching for your services. So depending on where you want to base this out of, it looks like you're in Brookings. So this should all be Brookings related. So all your keywords on your homepage and service pages should be Brookings. So it should be water damage, restoration, Brooking water damage, Brooking water damage restoration. You want to capitalize on the different variations that people are searching. And so because you don't have any repetition, we don't have any keywords, we don't have any local keywords, you're not being indexed for anything. Even though you do have a fair amount of content. Here is one of your trust factors. So this is great that you have that. Good job. But as far as content, we do always have to have more than our competition. And we don't want just generic, basic information. We want to make sure that we're getting really good, detailed, relatable information that's actually helpful to your customers. Also want to consider having separate pages for each of the other areas you serve. This is going to be important for you. Now, you are actually in an advantageous position because despite not actually having any keywords, not really having any real traffic, your local competition in most of these areas aren't doing anything. They're not doing the proper SEO. And so you are actually showing up in Brookings without that because nobody else is doing anything. And that comes down to the repetition of the name Brookings. So like you have 11 mentions of Brookings on this page, whereas this company here, ServiceMaster, has one. ServiceMaster also is not getting much organic traffic either. And it's because these franchises just have a bunch of generic information. The franchisees generally cannot optimize these pages. And so they kind of have their hands tied. So all we have to do is better than your competitors doing. That means more content, better quality content, really hyper-focused on those local keywords. And then more repetition of the keyword, areas, etc. And all of those are going to give you that good boost. If we look at, so let's start here. Well, when your customers do a search, we know they're going to do a search like this here. And you guys are showing up in the maps, which is awesome. And so there's the three main spots that you can show up on the first page of Google. Generally are going to be ads if that's what you want to do. The second spot is going to be the map pack. This is an important spot because 30% of people will skip ads and everything else and come right here. So if you find for one of your services or keywords that you're not in this top three, you want to further optimize this profile and go out and get a bunch more citations, which are simply listing the name of your business, address, phone number, website, in a bunch of directories like Yellow Pages, Better Business Bureau, Yelp, and Glassdoor. And just doing more of that than your competition. But this third section is the most important section. It's your organic section. And this is where we have to show up when people are searching. And that's because 60 to 70% of people will skip everything else and they come right here. So when your website doesn't actually show up, you lose out on 60 to 70% of the jobs for that area. Now, like I said, you're only showing up because the number of times Brookings is showing up here. But at any point, if any of these competitors actually did apply SEO, did SEO strategies, you're going to be buried into the next couple pages because you don't have any keywords. So right now, your saving grace is just Brookings. If we were to look at one of your other service areas here in Medford, you're definitely not showing up in the maps. And you're also not showing up in the organic section. So having a separate service area page is going to allow you to do that. So if we look at a couple of the competitors here in Medford, we have ServPro, again, a franchisee, not able to do a whole lot. Very, very beatable for you. Just doing better content, more content. We always have to have more. So if they have 1,500 words, you'll want 2,000 words of content, okay? Hyper focus on those local keywords, more blogs, etc. Service area pages, all of those things. And then if we look at Prokleen, another one in the area, another good website. These guys aren't a franchise, but they are doing SEO. So that is where it's going to matter. They do have all these separate pages for all their major services. They have service area pages. They do have some video on here, which is great. But still not a whole lot of content. So always wanting to do better. Whatever your competition does, we want to take it up a notch, right? So, and then we have to support that with backlink SEO. So if we look here, this is Ahrefs, a paid tool we use to show how your website is performing. We can see here you have a rating of a 3.3 out of 100 in Google's trust flow, which means Google doesn't really trust your website. That is based on the power we're sending to it. Your website is a tool, and like most tools, it requires power. So we power websites with backlinks. So we need to get a ton of these backlinks. We need more than your competition is doing, but we only want to go after the good quality backlinks. Not all backlinks are good. So we want to go after the ones that are closely related to your business. And as you do that, this score is going to go up. Google's going to trust you more. It's going to help you rank your keywords, and it's going to help drive traffic. And so if we look here, your keyword here, you have a keyword in Russia and mold restoration near me. And you're on page 10. So we're not really ranking for anything. This is going based off of your brand. Now, this is also national, right? And so as important as your brand is and as important as national keywords are, even when we're ranking for them, if you have people in Washington, areas that you don't serve, or California areas you don't serve, or New York, landing on your page, they're never going to convert. So we have to focus on the local keywords. We don't want to ever go after any near me keywords, because near me is wherever that person is with their GPS location. So whenever you rank for a keyword, you will automatically also show up for near me. So we don't ever actually try and focus on those keywords. Now, if we look at the 𝑭𝒊𝒓𝒆, their website is really powerful because it's a franchise, but you're not competing against the entire franchise, just the local areas. And so they have a really low score too. They're not doing any SEO, which makes sense because they can't fix what's wrong. So they haven't indexed for any keywords. They're not getting any real traffic. If we look at Get Prokleen, right, and where was that? In Medford, they have a pretty low score and over 200 backlinks, which just shows that not all backlinks are good backlinks. Their score should be much higher with as many backlinks. But they have an index for 51 keywords, and they are getting at least 59 people to their website. And if we look at their keywords, they are ranking for a lot of them. There's 10 spots per page on Google. And so just this one keyword alone has 60 searches every month. This one has 150. So there's a ton of potential volume in each of these communities you serve. We just have to have the right strategy, the right keyword strategy, the supportive content, and keyword backlinks, excuse me. So all of these competitors that you're up against are very beatable for you. And it's very possible if you don't apply these strategies, as soon as your competition does, that you're going to be buried and nobody's going to find you. So it is really critical that you do follow these strategies. And when you do, you're going across your service area, you're going to get a considerable boost in those leads. So please feel free to take this information, run with it, apply it yourself. But if you'd rather have a partner in this, this is our specialty. So go ahead and feel free to reach out, respond to this email, give us a call, and we'd be happy to chat. Thank you so much for watching, Lorenzo, and I look forward to hearing from you soon.